Dota, and I feel like you come into this kind of event as it is right now, and maybe they look at it like we don't have a whole lot to lose. People are probably looking down on us. You know, they're expecting that we're not going to be able to do good, so we can just give it our all, and it's worked out for them so far. But then you get to Key Arena, people are screaming, they're yelling, the pressure's there. You realize that this one win is the difference between, you know, having 6 figures and 7 figures. It can get crazy. So I think it's going to be probably the biggest test ever.
Yeah, that is a very true point. Very different environment, of course, than here during the group stages. But let's come back to this one. We're looking at the team profiles. One more match left for Group B. Well, of course, the other game's still going on, but one more series to start here. It's going to be between Virtus Pro and Empire. Do you think at this point there's any outside factors to consider, whether it's the niche picks or anything, or both teams just have to say, you know what, give it our all, one last game, it's just on us. Like, let's not try to get into all these mind games in the draft and also in game.
I think, however, both teams have not had as strong a showing as they were hoping for, and perhaps that means that the motivation going into the game is just, okay, they know there's a reason they're playing in this relegation match for 4th, if you will.
Okay, yeah.
So maybe you just stick with your really solid picks, like, for example, what I mentioned, Resolutions, Dragon Knight, Virtus Pro. I haven't got to see so many of Virtus Pro's games, I think, so I'm not completely sure what they've been running a lot and what's been successful for them. But there's absolutely no doubt we're going to get action-packed games. I don't think it's going to be a slow kind of game. These teams don't play like that.
To adapt. But that, in some ways, complicates things in one way. At the other end, of course, you can think of it as, well, if we lose the first game, we have another shot to come back and tie it up and go for that last game. Winter, what about you? What are your thoughts in this matchup? What do you think they want to focus on the most?
I think what they want to focus more successful rotations to help the mid would be really crucial in that matchup itself, because both of the mid players of the teams are really explosive players. If you just give them a slight head start, they can actually dominate and control the game by themselves. So I think that's a very key factor.
Axe, they have plenty of other tricks up their sleeves, and I hope they don't get too caught up in, let's make sure we get that Lesh and Gyro and Naga, and don't be afraid to kind of get a bit more creative.
Right. Yeah, I think there are definitely a lot of options here to maybe see some picks we haven't yet or not as often.
I remember seeing Virtus Pro or Empire, they have picked, I think it was Virtus Pro more or less, they picked Warlock for Illidan. He played a safe lane or mid Warlock in the past.
Yes.
And it's really good. Warlock is a pick that's really good when the playstyle is constantly fighting. And when you fight, you want to take... Warlock is like, you win the fight, you take objective. So it's very good in the matter of the fact that if the teams are fighting constantly, it's a good pick in that regard.
The downside of that, though, is if the fights are too frequent,
too frequent,
it's a very long cooldown also. So I think that's a big part of the reason that it's not being picked right now.